Hello there, and well, here we go. We're going to try and put together an Irish stew inside a slow cooker, and I think this is going to be quite beneficial for anybody who works. They can put this in at the beginning of the day, go off to work and come home. This is going to be ideal for when you're away in the caravan, in the motorhome, or even if you're in a tent and you've got the electric hookup, then this is perfect. Because just think of that ideal situation. You put this into the slow cooker, you go out for the day, you come back, you open the door or unzip that tent, and you just get those wonderful aromas. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. So let me just go through with you what I've got here today. I've got a slow cooker. This is, I think you class it as a family size. You can get smaller slow cookers, you can get larger slow cookers, but that's up to you. It depends on the size of your family and how many you're cooking for. I've got some diced lamb here. Now I'm fortunate enough to live very close to a local butcher, so I got this from the butcher, but of course you can get this from the supermarkets. You can even buy it frozen from supermarkets, but this is fresh this morning. Two very large potatoes, a couple of decent sized onions. I've got a nice big leek here. I've got 3 carrots, a standard size carrot, and some rosemary. Now I've just been and burgled my friends next door, their back garden, and that's Ian and Sam Smith, pillars of our community. One's a teacher, one works for the fire service, and lovely people when they're sober. And I've got 2 of the Knorr chicken stock pots. So everything here you can easily take away camping, in a motorhome and in a caravan, and of course you can easily store at home in your fridge. Just a couple of tips. I always put the slow cooker on a good half an hour to an hour before I start wanting to cook it, because that way you can make sure it's hot when you put things in. Also, take your ingredients out of the fridge and get them up to room temperature before you start cooking, because you don't want to be putting ice cold food in here, because it will take longer to bring that up to temperature and get it going. So get your meat out of the fridge about an hour, get the veg out of the fridge if you keep them in the fridge, and bring them up to room temperature so you can actually put them in there, and as soon as they go in there they can start cooking. Okay, I'm going to cut the veg up now. I'm not going to put you through that boring process, so we'll come back to you in just a few seconds once we've got the veg cut up, and then we're ready to go. Right, one thing I just forgot to say to you before I go is a good sharp knife. So if you are away in the caravan or in the motorhome, don't forget to either have one of these there or take one with you. Right, I'm going to start chopping. Okay, so here we are. Everything is prepared. The carrots I've chopped up into about thumbnail size pieces. Just dice the onions, not too small, not too big. Same with the leeks. And then the potatoes, I've done them in all different sizes, and big chunks, little chunks, medium sized chunks, because what you want to do is you want those potatoes to break down during that cooking process, and then all that starch helps give it a natural thickening, because there's no gluten in here, there's no thickening agents, there's nothing. This is just really good natural products. You might have a few preservatives in these, but as I said, there's nothing there that should worry you. And then I've got a litre here of very hot water just to be able to top it up as we go through. The only thing we need now to do is to deal with the rosemary, but let's look at that once we've got some of this off the chopping board. So we've got a hot slow cooker. Let's take the lid off that, and then what we need to do is just put all these vegetables into the bottom of that slow cooker. So let's pop the carrots in first, and then the leeks. Just mix it all into there. The onions, there we go. Throw in the potatoes, pop it all there into the bottom, Make sure it's all in there, bedded down. Last few bits. There we go. So that's all your veg inside the slow cooker. Now what we want to do is just pop the lamb onto the top there. Just put that in there. This will all break down as the cooking process goes through. Right. I'm just going to move that just a little bit closer to me, and then let's just start to try and mix all that in a little bit. And just get those mixed in. Really get your hands in there, you know, get those aromas going, the onions, the leeks, get it all in there, press it all down. Okay. Now for the rosemary, just pull it off the rosemary branch like that. And as you do that, you're going to be releasing those oils and smells, and then just give it a quick chop. This will actually break down in the slow cooking process and become quite tender, but chop it up into smaller pieces, and again it's just releasing those aromas. Take that, spread it all on the top, pop it all inside, push it into the meat and the veg. That's it. Now let's stick in the water. So I've got about 1 litre of water here. You just need to bring that in, cover everything, and don't forget, because the slow cooker has been on and everything has come up to room temperature, you're putting in some hot water. This is going to start cooking very soon. Just give it a little bit of a prod with a wooden spoon. Got no air bubbles in there. Making sure that that water is in there. Okay. And just top that up. And then take your stock pots, unseal them. There we go. Fiddly little things at times. You can of course use your own stock, but I just find if you're in a van or a motorhome or camping, this is going to be so much easier. And just pop that into the slow cooker and just give that a gentle stir around. Take the second one, open that up. Let's see if we can actually get that one out like that. No, that's not going to happen. Let's try with a knife. Be careful if you do this. There we go, we've got that all out. Get the rest out with that. And that should give you just enough seasoning to keep that going. And don't forget, you can actually add seasoning, but you can't take it away. So just give that a little bit of a mix in there. Make sure that those stock cubes are in. And that is it. That's all you need to do. I've got the slow cooker on high setting, so I'm going to leave that on high for quite some time to get all that cooking and get it really heating up. There we go. Pop the lid on and now forget about it. Go to work, go out for the day, sit outside, do some reading, go back to bed, have another snooze. Why not? If you're in the caravan or motorhome, or even at home, if it's a weekend, you're on holiday, you don't have to go to work. And let this do the work for you. We'll come back to it later on and we'll see how things are going. So feet up, and then later on we'll open a bottle of wine as well. Speak to you all again soon.